how to use it, what is it exactly, what benefits can it give to you. It contains the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca, and that's very special. Plant medicine comes on your path, you never heard of it, and then suddenly it pops up everywhere. Why would you do a Choco Bliss ceremony? Maybe you've heard that if the plants are calling you, you better listen. This is a saying that I always say, like, if the plant is calling you, you better listen. It changed me so much because it reconnected me with my inner voice. When is it from my ego? When is it from my heart? You have gentle journeys, you have intense journeys, you have hard journeys, you have heavenly journeys, and maybe even the hardest journeys you benefit most. Realize it will give you what you need. Choose the right setting, choose the right people that you want to share this ceremony space with.
Welcome to the House of Oneness podcast, where we dig deep into the world of plant medicine to help you in your spiritual and personal growth. Our host of this podcast has traveled the world to learn from different shamans, maestros, and other spiritual leaders. She has many years of experience with plant medicine ceremonies. Here is your host, Maria Joanna.
Welcome in this video, in this new podcast if you're listening. And in this podcast I'm gonna talk about Choco Bliss. Choco Bliss is a very popular plant medicine that is used in ceremonies or for microdosing purposes. And it contains different spirits. It's very powerful for healing, transformation, getting more insights. But yeah, how to use it, what is it exactly, what benefits can it give to you? I will cover these subjects and more during this podcast, so just relax, sit back and listen while you're gonna learn a lot more about Choco Bliss. Okay, Choco Bliss, starting with what it is. Maybe you're already familiar with that, but just to refresh your memory if you already know, Choco Bliss is a plant medicine that is made from different plants, spirits, qualities, and all this together is a Choco Bliss. It contains the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca, and that's very special because I would say it's my favorite spirit. She changed my life so much, and this is in the plant Caapi. So the Caapi plant contains the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca. And together with the Psilocybine, it opens your psyche, and then also the ceremonial cacao from Peru and herbs to open your heart. So if you're practically explaining the Choco Bliss, you could say is ayahuasca chocolates to open your heart and heal yourself. But of course, it's also a lot more, as you already know now. And you can use Choco Bliss in different ways. Most people choose to do their own home ceremony, but you can also do a guided ceremony. I would recommend people to do a guided ceremony when it's their first time, but it's very personal. A lot of people want to be in their own energy, home, more comfortable, so that's possible. If you order the chocolates on my website, you get a free course on how to set up your own home ceremony, then it is included. You can also buy this course separately, but then you pay a lot more money. And the other option is to book an online ceremony. You can do this with live guidance, or you follow the online program. And in this online ceremony, I give also a lot of information about working with the plants, how to set up your ceremony, and I also guide you inwards your journey. So I help you to open the ceremony on the right way. I speak this like live towards you, and I also help you with a guided meditation so you are calm and relaxed while going into your ceremony. Actually, to be honest, I recorded this online ceremony and I thought, wow, this is so good. I'm really proud of this work, so I highly recommend you to book this, and you can learn so much. And if you learned this, actually you can always repeat using it, that's one thing, but you can also learn to do it yourself. And I see a lot of people, they are curious about plant medicine, but they don't have a lot of knowledge on how to work with a plant medicine, because where is someone learning you this? Would be great if this would be a common thing to learn, but I don't know many other places. I don't actually know any other place at the moment where you can learn this. So in my online courses you can learn how to work with the plant medicines, through or the course that you get when you order the Choco Bliss, or the course when you order the online ceremony. And yeah, again, I would recommend you that. But let's first start more practically. Why would you do a Choco Bliss ceremony? Maybe you've heard that if the plants are calling you, you better listen. This is a saying that I always say, like, if the plant is calling you, you better listen. And I got this from my period when I was working with Ayahuasca. When the mother is calling you, you better listen. Or whatever plant spirit is bringing you into a feeling of like, wow, I'm curious. That's actually already enough to step into this ceremony. I also stepped into my first ceremony just because I was so curious. That's the calling. It doesn't have to be like a very special occasion or no, but this definitely is possible. Most of the times, plant medicine comes on your path, you never heard of it, and then suddenly it pops up everywhere. It's like, huh? Last week I never heard about ayahuasca. Last week I never heard about Choco Bliss, and now I hear it everywhere. Now I see many people talking about this on Instagram or YouTube or other places or real life. And then, that's the invitation. And yeah, do you have to have an intention of stepping into your ceremony? My very first experience was without an intention. I had no clue that you even could have an intention. I stepped into it quite blindly, and everyone has a different way of stepping into the ceremony. Some people do research for years and years and years until they finally feel, now I'm ready, or now I have done enough research. I'm not the type of person. I heard about it, I did no research, I was in ceremony, and there I learned. I learned by doing, but maybe you're different and you like to hear information again and again and again until the point comes that you feel like I'm ready. Don't let yourself be holding back by fear, because what is fear? This is something it's amazing to learn in ceremony. I can tell you this, but when you experience this, and this is the thing with plant medicines, like I can share, I can talk, you can read about plant medicine ceremonies, but this is so much something to experience, because in these ceremonies you expand your consciousness, you step into a higher potential of who you really are. You get a sense that you don't have as a human being, not in this intensity, not in this way. And if you have done ceremonies with plant medicine, you know what I mean. So you become more of who you really are. You get more understanding, because a lot of people do ceremonies in order to heal themselves. And healing also means to understand and to get a new perspective, another perspective. For example, you have had traumatic experiences in your past. We all do. We all do. But some people, they grow up in families with violence, unsafe situations, sexual abusement. It happens so often, and it can be a taboo to talk about it, but this is so common. It happens so much on this planet, unfortunately. And when you are in ceremony, you can be afraid, like, oh, maybe I have to go back to my trauma. It is definitely possible, but with a goal. When you step into the ceremony, also say to yourself, this is healing me, when you're in a difficult situation, because the ceremonies can be amazingly beautiful, heavenly, like, wow, best ever. But you can also be in pain, and be really in pain, maybe more than you've ever been. So the duality is very strong also in ceremony. And I can say Choco Bliss is a lot more gentle than ayahuasca, yes, and that's why it's more accessible, it's easier to dose, Because with ayahuasca, you never know. You can drink a little bit and have this journey, or you can drink like 5, 6, 7 cups, no effect. And Choco Bliss is more practical. That's why it's safe also to do in your own home setting. But now I want to zoom in back to the trauma. So if you want to heal trauma, yes, you can go into this pain. Or maybe also when someone died, it's also very common. I can talk about all these subjects, like how it can show up in your ceremony. And I'm gonna also record a next episode where I will speak about how to interpret your journey, because what you see in ceremony is not always exactly the truth, and sometimes you will never find the real truth. But what can be very true is that you go into your pain from the past. For example, sexual abusement, and you go back to this moment when it happened, and suddenly the plant is showing the perspective of the one who abused you. Like, what is his past? How did he or she came to the point of doing such a horrible thing to you? And in many cases, hurt people hurt people. I can repeat this again and again. Hurt people hurt people. So they do this from a place of pain. Maybe they have been through sexual abusement themselves, and somehow they pass it on. Or with violence, their parents never showed them real love, so they don't know how to be a good parent or to be a good person and to be non-violent, because they learned that violence is a way to express their emotions, or if they torture someone else, they feel better about themselves. It can be a different perspective, and you will never understand this as a human being, or maybe you do. But in ceremony, I've seen it so much that it's likely to get another perspective of the ones who hurt you. It can also be just with a breakup in a relationship. Like, oh, it hurts so much that this person broke up with me. But you had to learn this lesson as a soul. So as a soul, you choose to go through pain and suffer on this planet, in this reality, in order to grow as a soul. And maybe you've read it in books, but in ceremony you get really this understanding, if it's for you. And you cannot control how your journey will be, but you have influence. But yeah, again, no control. So if you say, I want to go into this journey and I want to go to the darkness, I want to heal my trauma, I want to go to the pain, it doesn't mean that it's your time to go there. I was curious myself about healing some trauma from my past, and it took me so many ceremonies to finally be there. It's like more than 70, not 17, but 70 ceremonies to finally go there, where I was curious about trauma and pain from my past. So yeah, sometimes it's not a time to go there, or you expect that it will be difficult and hard, but in the end, they say, like, you've done already so much work. We just send some love to it and we go travel further in your inner world. Or it's in a very beautiful, gentle way. I just want to point out that plant medicine ceremonies can give you a total different perspective, and this perspective can be the healing, because you get more understanding, and with this understanding, it softens the pain. Or I shared this in another podcast, that like the pain is the fire, and you've been watering the fire, but somehow it never really heals from the essence, and the plant medicine, it heals the fire from within and the fire is gone. But yeah, whatever happens, I can never give you a guarantee. Also, when you go through an amazing healing, there can still be a wound somewhere after ceremony. It's not like you go to a ceremony and you're fixed forever, because life has a dynamic. Life has different ways, different stages. But what I can say is that plant medicine ceremonies can be very transforming on having a new perspective, getting more understanding, receiving more wisdom. And to me, there's one thing that is the greatest thing to experience, And again, this is not for everyone and you cannot control this, but to me, the most beautiful experience that you can have is when you experience that you are actually one with everything. That oneness, and I even quote my website, House of Oneness, and my company name has been House of Oneness for a long, long time. Because I thought if we would all remember that we are one, we will do no harm to anyone. We would be in harmony with each other, with nature, and we are far away from being in harmony with everyone and everything. And that's also the game of life, the script of life, where we are. I understand that, but that oneness, if you have had this glimpse, this experience in your ceremony, you never walk on earth the same way as before. You can appreciate life so much on a deeper level, and the people around you. You can have acceptance, more respect for, yeah, for how everything is, and your relationship can go to the next level because you look through a different perspective, through a new glasses. So that's another possibility, that you look at life through fear and you see everything with a barrier and obstacles. But then in ceremony they can exchange the eyes of fear for eyes of love, and that is a different perspective, and that brings the transformation. To me, the biggest transformation that plant medicine ceremonies brought, and I will also say bring when I still do it, but what it brought from the first experience to after, it changed me so much because it reconnected me with my inner voice. So we all have an inner voice from the heart. We also have this inner voice from the ego. And a lot of people are asking me, when is it from my ego? When is it from my heart? To me, it's a different energy, the voice, a different feeling. And after doing plant medicine ceremonies, you can notice this more easily because you're more sensitive. Then you have more wisdom, you expand your potential, and afterwards the portal to your heart is more open than before. So then during normal days, and like when you're just sober, because the ceremonies you do it once in a while or maybe just once in your life, afterwards you can check in with your inner world easier. You can hear this gentle voice from your heart. So the voice of your heart to me is a gentle voice, and it also goes with feeling. So you can feel if this is really true. And some people need more time to feel. And actually, I'm also this type of person. I feel it, and I need to check in again and again and again if my feeling stays the same, and then I go with the guidance, because this is a thing that the plant medicine ceremonies do. They give guidance, they speak to you, you can have an inner conversation. To me, that's like actually every ceremony has an inner conversation with the spirits. But also this is not for everyone. But if you are having this experience, you can ask your questions, you have conversations like, is it good to walk left or right? So you see it on the other direction. So for you, it's right and left. What I do sometimes, and I think I shared this in other videos too, I check in with my feelings, and in ceremony you feel better in general. Like, what if I go the right direction? And it is as if I travel into the future and I feel like, what if I go to Bali? And then I feel this and this and that. And what if I don't? And then I travel into that journey. And it's both a path, both a possibility. But you will feel which path is more likely to be your destiny. Because some people do believe that we have free will, some people not. I think there's a path of being the happiest version of yourself. That's the most likely path to walk. That's your destiny. That's living your higher potential, living with more fulfillment, maybe contributing more to society, to your family, to the world, to whatever your area is in this path in your life. And talking about this example of going to Bali, this is something, it showed up in my ceremonies. a few times. Also, right before I went, when I didn't book my ticket yet, but I decided I want to go, I got an initiation and a spiritual explanation why I had to go to Bali, why it was so important for my soul to be here. And then I still have the choice, do I listen or I don't? To me, it's almost no option because I'm very much about feeling. But some people live more in their heads and they overrule their feelings with their thoughts and they choose the path of the head. Yeah, I guess it's possible, but for me personally, not really. I have to go with the feelings. And to me, it is as if your feelings, that's like the horse that is driving the car. Like the horse, they are the power and they are first. And then there's maybe sitting someone like in the in the on the car. I don't know how you say this, but yeah, that's the head. But the horse, the heart should be the first drive, and then the mind comes after, and the mind can support you on how to make this happen. Yeah, that's how I do it. And to me, it's like, yeah, some ceremonies have a huge impact and others not. So talking about my own experience, I've done so many ceremonies, I lost counting. I also, yeah, always took plant medicine while I was guiding ceremonies, and I've been guiding so many plant medicine ceremonies that yeah, the other realm is so home for me. I feel so like more of myself, but it's not that I have a hunger of being there all the time. It's all guided when it's time for me to go there or not. But for most people, the first experience is the most intense one, the most transforming one, because it's so brand new. This is not for everyone. If you do Choco Bliss and it's a mild journey, maybe you're doing it at home, you don't dare to go that deep, always give it a second chance. Always give it a second chance if it's disappointing, if it's not what you were hoping for. Because, yes, I would say for more than 50%, the first one is the best, but definitely not. And when you do a lot of journeys, you have gentle journeys, you have intense journeys, you have hard journeys, you have heavenly journeys, and maybe even the hardest journeys, you benefit most, yeah, mostly from them. They have a strong, powerful impact on your life. What more can I say about Choco Bliss? Yeah, I can repeat a few things to just point it out. You have to experience it for yourself. If it's calling you, you better listen. Give it more opportunities, not just make your judgment about one, like after one journey. Realize it will give you what you need in this very moment. Choose if you want to do it on your own, if you want to do it in professional guided setting, what we offer, or this online ceremony, and you also learn a lot in this online ceremony course. Yeah, choose the right setting, choose the right people that you want to share this ceremony space with. It can be with your loved ones, it can be with people that you maybe just met and you feel like this is a good vibe, I'm gonna do this. But be picky, don't be too easy, I would say, because you open your soul, and if you step into a ceremony, you will also finish it together. And there's not really a way of stepping out of your ceremony. You can, if you feel like, hey, but I want to have a certainty, like if it's too intense, how can I step out of it? You can order rescue, that's a spray under your tongue, and then it decreases the effect of the plant medicine. So I don't offer this at the moment, but you can order this online. But you know, if you have a hard time in ceremony, you always go through it and it makes you stronger. Sometimes you have to suffer in order to be, yeah, to be able to enter the next level. And this journey, it can be like as if you step onto a train or in a roller coaster. You go from one station to another, it goes left and right and up and down, and you experience so many different emotions, and at every point You have to do a little bit of work. You have to look at something. You have to send love. You have to cry maybe. You have to connect with spirits. You get some guidance. You get some answers. You get an interaction. So many possibilities. And also, not everything you see is to analyze. Certain things are just to experience. So you see colors, just enjoy the colors. You experience a feeling, just go through it, just experience it. Life and also the ceremonies are just to experience. And when you analyze too much, it can even maybe affect your journey and decrease the joy. To me, so if you're ready to do your ceremony, if you're gonna do it at home by yourself or with your friends, I love to make space for and emotions and peace, but also celebration. So also make sure that you do some dancing, that you have some positive vibes, maybe even force yourself to do it. That's the way I do it. But choose your own thing, follow up on what feels authentic for you, make it a safe setting, trust upon the plants, because the trust you put into your ceremony, the more love and care, the more it will reflect back. So I hope I helped you with this information about Choco Bliss. I hope I give you some courage to do this, to experience this for yourself, to just follow up on your calling. And in my next episode, I will talk more about how to interpret it, In my next episode, I will talk more about how to implement the insights in your journey in your daily life, because this is where we have to do it on earth, in this reality. So I'm looking forward to see you in this next episode. You can have so many insights, but also you can be left with questions. Not everything that you see in your plant medicine ceremonies is exactly the truth or is exactly as it is. And this can be very, very confusing. It was confusing because it was my first experience with plant medicine, and I thought, do I need to break up? Or really, is that the love of my life? I would say not everything you see in ceremonies is the exact truth. She saw the soul asking to be, their child. Then other examples. Death. Death is a very intense subject to experience in your ceremonies. The plant medicine can help you a lot in finding the way of expressing your soul, expanding who you really are. So sometimes just one phone call can help you to make sense of your journey and to know what to do with it.
Thanks for listening. Check out our website, houseofoneness.com, for more information about plant medicine, microdosing, and ceremonies. Or find Maria Joanna at Instagram. Check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, keep following that inner voice.